this is Lady Boulay, and I hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for your support. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for your thumbs up, for your comments, and thank you for sharing the videos. Thank you for all you do to support the channel. And yes, we are commanded to love one another, whether we want to or not, or whether we agree with each other or not. Now, I don't know who needs to hear this, but I'm just going to make a blanket statement. Black Americans did not ask Kamala Harris to call herself black, did not ask her to identify as black as far as I know. She says her mother told her that she was going to be seen as a black person in America. And so she identifies as black. I have done several videos on that to the point that people have asked me to move on, and I've tried to do that. But after Donald Trump did the interview with the black journalist yesterday, he brought the question of her ethnicity up again. And so now people have been responding to my videos on her identity and saying that she's not black. She's not black. And somebody just commented, just because her mother told her she would be perceived as black doesn't mean she would be black. Well, if somebody's going to perceive you as being black, you have to question why. Why are people perceiving her as black? Okay? So I just wanted to make it clear to people that black Americans didn't do this, but if you show up and you tell people that you're black, and you look enough like a black person that they could believe you, there is no reason for black people to question you and tell you you're not black. But if you show up at an HBCU, you tell people you're black, you join a black sorority, you tell people that your daddy is Jamaican, they will assume that you're black. Now, it used to be nobody claimed to be in Jamaica except black people. Now that the black people in Jamaica have put Jamaica on the map, nobody else has put Jamaica on the map. No white people, no Indians, no Chinese. Nobody has put Jamaica on the map except black people. And I'm just going to say that they are descendants of slavery. They are the ones that put Jamaica on the map. Then a few weeks ago, here comes the Chinese woman telling people that Jamaica is not an African country. Jamaica is not a black country. But the black people are the ones who put Jamaica on the map. Now everybody's going down there trying to take over their land and everything else. But the only people that I had known to call themselves Jamaicans, and no, I don't know everybody, but the ones who've been coming up here to the United States calling themselves Jamaicans have been black. So now, oh, well, he's a Jamaican. The Jamaican's not a race. No, Jamaica's not a race. But according to somebody in my comment section, 90% of them are black. And they certainly are the ones who have had to carry Jamaica, good and the bad. The black people. So I just want the point to be made. Her father has not spoken. And they need to clarify this. They need to clear this up, because I was going by the information that's out there. There are pictures of Kamala with a black woman. Oh, they say, well, she's an Indian. Well, she's a very dark-skinned Indian. Then they came up with the grandma with a black lady hat on. So I don't know who she's supposed to be. I guess she was a slave on the plantation that her grandfather or great-grandfather, whoever, owned. So it gets to be ridiculous after a while. There is no reason why black people should try to give her an identity. Black people are going by what she said and what she looks like. And I noticed that a lot of black men now are all of a sudden talking about she's not black, she's not black. Black men who have tried to use every race of women on the planet to weaponize against black women, now all of a sudden they are concerned about Kamala Harris's race. I just find it very extraordinary. And one thing about it, black women like Kamala Harris, whether she's an Indian, whether she's a Jamaican, whether she's a Jamaican and an Indian, black women and a lot of black men like Kamala. And I doubt if anything is going to change because somebody questions her racial identity. At the end of the day, a lot of Indians do look black. They may not want to admit it, but a lot of Indians look like a lot of African Americans. And a black woman with a weave, it's going to be hard to tell her from an Indian depending on what her features are. So, y'all are just going to have to everybody's going to have to tone down, settle down, and let Kamala be Kamala. But the fact of the matter is, white people are now very concerned about Kamala's ethnicity. And coming up in our faces, black people's faces, talking about she's not black. She's not black. White people are more concerned about this than the Indians. Because a couple of Indian people have come on my page. Just leave it alone. Just leave it alone. No, we can't leave it alone. She's running for president of the United States. She has to be vetted by everybody. Remember, President Obama had to show his birth certificate, and Donald Trump was behind that. Anybody who calls themselves black in the United States and can't trace their lineage back to slavery, you're going to be vetted by these Republicans. Now, the issue of reparations comes up now all the time. And this is my view on it, and I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me. It's going to take a while for black people to make the case for reparations. It has to be done orderly, there has to be a lot of documentation, and it has to be presented in the right way by the right people. Now, in my opinion, Yvette Carnell is the one that really got it going on the internet. And then to me, now I'm just saying what it looks like to me, it looks like a lot of other people jumped on the bandwagon. But Dr. Charles Ogletree, who was a law professor at Harvard, was the one that I saw talking about it way back in the early 90s on Hardball with Chris Matthews on MSNBC. Dr. Ogletree has since passed away, but he was building a case for reparations. He was talking about the historical context, the legal basis for it, the precedent that had been set for people getting reparations. He was talking about investigating all of these companies that had benefited from the transatlantic slave trade, and it was just about all of them. And they are still making money. Matter of fact, billions, like Goldman Sachs, for instance. So it's not just the United States government, although the government plays the biggest part because it reduced them to less than human beings and worked them and stole their wages, their freedom, their children. It's a case to be made, but it has to be done right, in my opinion. And I know nobody's going to agree with me, but it's not going to be done overnight because everybody's screaming reparations. It has to be done the right way. The people in the Caribbean have established CARICOM, and it has a 10-point plan for how they want reparations to be handled in the Caribbean. And we have to come up with something like that. And if somebody has done that, I would love to know about it. But this is not something that's just going to be done because black people don't vote this year. Now, that's my opinion, but y'all let me know what you think about this. I would really like to know what you think about this. But as far as Kamala Harris is concerned, I wish people wouldn't try to make it seem like black people are trying to turn this woman black and make her into a black person. She presented herself to black people as a black person. And she seems like a nice person, and black people embraced her and welcomed her. And that's not going to change. Black people like Kamala. Black women like Kamala. And black people have accepted what she has said. Kamala Harris is 59 years old. She has had a chance to make her case before people. And whatever case she's made, it has been effective. She is close to her Indian family, I'm sure, and her Indian roots. But she has made a lot of inroads with black Americans. And she has made friends in the black American community. So I'm not sure how exposing her as being an Indian is going to make this much difference at this point. And I believe it would be good if she would come out, or if her father would come out and clarify. But I don't think it's going to make a difference because she's on a roll now. She didn't just pop up out of nowhere all of a sudden and became black. She has a long history with black people. I mean, I'm not even sure why white people decided to get into this at this late date, as if it's going to make a real difference because she's not black. She's not black. I question what they would say if she was calling herself white or Indian. Remember what Ann Coulter told Ramaswamy, I'm not voting for you because you're Indian. So see, she decided to switch it up a little bit. But for now, Kamala Harris is sticking by the fact that she's black and that she has never hidden her black or Indian ancestry. The first time I heard about her was when she was Attorney General for California. Then they first said she was black, and then they came back and said, no, she's Indian. And then they came back and said, well, she's Indian and black. And then the Jamaican thing came in. I believe that it would be helpful if she would come out and give the public a clear explanation about who she is, just to put it to rest. But she's on fire. She has turned the process upside down and is giving Donald Trump a run for his money. So it's become very interesting. We'll just have to wait and see how it turns out. But black people didn't call for her to be black. That was her decision. Okay, y'all, thank you for listening. Have a good evening.